Hi, so I'm here at GDC to talk to Dan about Sword Coast Legends. We just saw a demo that you showed off. Very, very cool. Unlike a lot of other games based on Dungeons & Dragons, you guys have a DM mode. If you could just very briefly sort of describe Sword Coast Legends and what the DM mode is all about.
Sure. Well, Sword Coast Legends is a very traditional RPG in the classic vein of Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale. But yeah, there's definitely this twist with a DM mode, and it's a real-time DM mode. So that's one of our goals right from the beginning to create a DM mode where people could just jump in right away and start playing as a DM and interacting with the players in real time.
Definitely, and what I saw during the demo that was very impressive to me is how flexible and on the fly it kind of was. So you have the adventurers going through and immediately like the DM can just lock a door or spawn a mob using something you guys are calling sort of the DM threat. But the question that I had is, as the adventurers are going through, if I was an adventurer and I was trying to kind of go against a DM, should I just try to go as fast as possible so he doesn't have that much time to screw me over? How do you guys kind of balance that?
Yeah, the balancing of that has actually been quite a big focus of ours right at the beginning, and that was a tactic early on. People would actually run through the dungeon and trigger all the encounters. But it's good that people do that, because I mean it's really forced us to really take a careful look at how we balance in that and how we reward DMs for doing things with the players, taking damage but just enough damage to make it challenging and not totally killing off the party, and that balance as well reflects how they engage with each other and create that challenge. We also have things like we limit areas to the amount of threat that a DM can do. So a DM can't create like all of the death in the dungeon is in this one little choke point that happens to be by the exit. So we've done a lot of balancing like that to create a very collaborative environment. But I mean, if somebody wants to play adversarial, I mean, we're not going to stop them either. So.
Sure, and let's say you're somebody that really enjoys DMing more so than playing. What's the progress like for a DM? Like as you do more campaigns and more scenarios with the players, do you unlock things that allow you to make more elaborate campaigns, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and we're not talking a lot about that, but you're pretty on spot there. I mean, we definitely have a lot in place to encourage DMs to create long-going campaigns, and we're going to roll out a lot more information about our campaign creation. But they do need to be rewarded, and they do need to be to have progression as well to what they do. That's important for a DM to progress as a DM and become a better DM and level up, so to speak. So that's important. And I think players are going to really find the tools that we give them down the road to do campaign creation is going to be really have a lot of longevity for players to keep playing this. And of course, we're going to feed you as much content as we can make.
Sure. The other thing is Sword Coast Legends has an expansive single-player mode as well. Is that kind of dictated by DMs, or let's say you don't interact with that DM stuff at all? Is there kind of like a linear storyline that has a beginning, middle, and end? How are those two modes separated from one another?
Right. Well, definitely with any great classic RPG, you look at some of the Dragon Age Origins is a good example. It's very important that you have an engaging story, and there are a lot of people that may not want to play DM and they want to play just single player, and they want to make sure that they have that great classic nostalgic experience. So we want to make sure we deliver that as well too. In a large ways, we're biting off a lot here because we want to also make sure that they can play together with other people and also play with a DM as well too. But we're definitely making sure that classic, great quality core story with meaningful companions exists, because that's important to a lot of RPG players.
Definitely. I have to say, growing up with games like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights, I had this big, stupid smile on my face where I'm like, this looks like an updated version of those, and that's excellent. One final question. Based on the name Sword Coast Legends, there are a lot of famous characters that sort of had their heyday in the Sword Coast. Are we going to be seeing some of them in this game?
Yeah, we're not talking about that right now, but that also is a very good question. And you know what? I mean, it really wouldn't be the Forgotten Realms, and it certainly wouldn't be the Sword Coast if you didn't run into those iconic locations and be some of those classic characters. So you can expect that to happen.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. I can't wait to torment players in DM mode. So.
Sounds great.
Thanks.